As you guys know, Assassin's Creed Origins is coming out in less than a week at this point, and there's going to be a lot of confusion when the game releases. This is the first game that is going full RPG, and I'm going to make a video today telling you guys how you can prepare for the launch of Assassin's Creed Origins, and things you can do before the game comes out that will prepare you for the release. So basically, things that you need to know that will help you when the game comes out. This will be the first video in a long line of tips and tricks videos that I'm going to be doing for Assassin's Creed Origins to help people that are new to the series or just want a bit of help in the game. So without further ado guys, let's get straight into the video. So first of all, Assassin's Creed Origins is the very first Assassin's Creed game to change into an RPG format, and side quests are going to be a huge part of Assassin's Creed Origins. Things such as helping nearby strangers, killing enemies, doing the gladiator arenas, getting armor and weapons, stuff like that is going to be very, very integral to the game's overall gameplay. So it's recommended to do side quests in Assassin's Creed Origins, and plus, who wouldn't want to explore the huge game world and experience all of these intricate side quests that are in the game? The game is the whole of Lower Egypt, which is half of Egypt, so there's bound to be tons and tons of side content for you to do in the game given the size of the map. With all of this side content in the game, I'd say it'd be silly to not try and experience as much as you can. I know I'm definitely going to be going around doing side quests, getting loads of XP and gear for my character, and then I'll be prepared for the main story and all the different other pieces of side content that are more difficult. The quest system that Assassin's Creed Origins has adopted is also a lot more flexible than the memory sequence system they had in previous games. Now, you no longer get desynced if you walk too far away from a mission area. Because it's a quest and you can choose to do it whenever you want and you can choose to leave it whenever you want, you can just walk away halfway through a quest and then come back later to finish it if you want to. Obviously, it's not recommended, it's best to just finish quests if you've started one. However, if you do feel like walking away from a side quest or a main quest, you can do that at any point you want. Especially if you're finding a quest too difficult, you can walk away halfway through, level up, get better weapons and gear, and then you can come back to it later when you're more experienced. In other Assassin's Creed games, you had to quit out of a whole mission, which was kind of annoying because you had to go into the menu, had to press quit or exit memory, and it was just a bit more hassle than this. So with this game, you can just completely walk away whenever you want to and go do something else instantly. And this kind of encourages doing side content in the game, because if you're halfway through a main mission and you remember a side quest that you wanted to do, you can just walk away halfway through and go and do that, whereas in previous games you couldn't choose to do side content whilst you were doing a main mission. You would have to quit out of it, and most people are too lazy to just quit out of the menu. It's an annoying thing you have to do every time you want to leave a mission, so people just usually wouldn't do it and they just want to play through the main story. Whereas in AC Origins, you have much more freedom and you can go and do basically whatever you want in the open world at any time you want. So in Assassin's Creed Origins, side quests will be very useful and they'll also be very accessible as well. You can choose to do them anytime you want, and they also have some pretty nice rewards for you to reap when you complete them. Not only is there a huge emphasis on side questing in Assassin's Creed Origins, but the game will also be very difficult. So the new combat system and enemy scaling means that upgrading your bayek and your gear will be 100% must. People have complained about the game and how, oh, you can't assassinate enemies with one shot anymore, but as long as you upgrade your bayek, as long as you invest into the skill tree and into the hidden blade, then you'll always be able to assassinate enemies that are the same level as you and enemies that are lower level than you. So basically, always upgrade gear when you get the chance, because it gives you that edge over your enemies, and it's part of the progression system of Assassin's Creed Origins. If you want to be able to take on enemies, you're going to have to invest into the skill trees, you're going to have to invest into armor and weapons. So upgrade all of your gear, always find new weapons in the open world, and yeah, basically you should be all good. Also, a good thing to do before launch is to look at the many different weapon archetypes. There are 8 weapon archetypes in Assassin's Creed Origins, ranging from short blades to huge blunt force weapons. So if you look at all these weapons in Assassin's Creed Origins, choose which ones are the best for you, and then when the game comes out, you can put skills into that certain playstyle. This is pretty helpful because this means there'll be no confusion when you actually get the game and want to choose a certain playstyle. Usually in games, I go for a huge heavy weapons build, so I'll definitely be using the heavy weapons in the game, although I'll most likely kind of switch it up every now and then. But if you guys want to play a certain playstyle, I definitely start looking at the weapons now and seeing which ones are best for you, so you can then base your build around it when the game finally comes out. There's a huge emphasis on customization in Assassin's Creed Origins. You can create your bayek however you want. You can use whatever weapons you want in conjunction with each other. You can do whatever builds you want, and I'm definitely going to be making videos on various different builds you can use in Assassin's Creed Origins for the most power, highest stealth, more range with bows and stuff like that, just so you guys can have that edge in battle too. Anyway, a great thing to do before Assassin's Creed Origins comes out to prepare is to look at the weapons in the game, kind of see what you want your build to be around, and then when the game comes out, obviously you know which weapons and skills you want to use. Also, upgrading gear is very important with the new enemy system and how they scale, so if you keep leveling up your gear as you go through the game, then you'll most likely have a better chance of surviving and be able to use stealth or be able to survive more in combat when you're fighting a large group of enemies that are either your level or slightly higher than you. Upgrading gear is a very important part of Assassin's Creed Origins progression system, so this is a very significant point. If not found in the open world, the best gear and weapons and tools in the game are acquired through crafting. Crafting materials in Assassin's Creed Origins are incredibly useful. As I said before, upgrading gear is a huge part of Assassin's Creed Origins progression system, and most likely the best gear will be locked behind crafting. So if you have more crafting materials, there'll be more chances that you can craft better gear and tools. This will be especially helpful in the game given the amped up difficulty and the fact that you'll be facing many enemies at once in combat situations, so if you have the upper hand with various different tools that you can use, such as fire bombs, smoke bombs, poison darts and all that stuff, then you'll most likely come out on top. If you find crafting materials out in the open world, don't cast them aside, keep them in your inventory so when it comes to it, you can craft high level gear, which will be very useful to you in the end game of Assassin's Creed Origins. Crafting materials can be found in the open world, bought from vendors, or you can get it from animals in the game. If you kill an animal, you can loot their body and get their skin or their hide and use that to craft various different tools in the game. One of the most useful tools at your disposal is the torch. Now, it may seem very simple, but it can be used for many different things. You can actually use it to fight, you can use it to light up areas, you can throw it on the ground and even light arrows with it, and you can distract guards with it, you can set things on fire. You can do so much with the torch in Assassin's Creed Origins. It's one of your most useful tools in the game. Obviously, there are other tools like throwing knives, smoke bombs, fire bombs, and these will all be very useful, but the torch is definitely the most versatile. Overall, if you want the best of the best gear in the game, you're gonna have to do crafting. It's an incredibly important part of the progression system of Assassin's Creed Origins, and a lot of the game relies on crafting materials. So if you find crafting materials out in the open world, you can use that to craft armor and tools in the game, which will give you the edge against your enemies and will help you out a fuck ton. Especially given the ramped up difficulty of the game, you're gonna need that extra help, so crafting will be your best friend in Assassin's Creed Origins. A really useful thing to do before playing Assassin's Creed Origins in preparation for the game's release is looking at the skills. There's a whole skill tree in the game that has a bunch of different options, and you can choose whatever you want. You have complete freedom over it in the game, and people have actually released the whole skill tree. There's plenty of people that have shared the skills in Assassin's Creed Origins on the internet, so you can go and look at those and you can start planning your builds before the game starts. A small tip is to plan these builds around the weapons you chose earlier on in this video. So if you want to use heavier weapons, obviously use the warrior class a lot more, and if you're going to be a stealthy person, then use short blades, and then put a lot of points into the predator skill tree so you're more stealthy, because stealth is still an important part of Assassin's Creed Origins. Regardless of what the gameplay shows you, they're simply showing off the new combat system, so don't worry everyone that predominantly uses stealth. It's still an important and functioning part of Assassin's Creed Origins, and you can use that if you want to. Obviously, you don't just have to go to combat or stealth, you can have a mix between the two. Ashraf Ismail also said that if you want to go into ranged, you can actually play the game like a third-person shooter if you wanted to, literally only using your bows, which I think is very cool. It means that there's a lot of diversity of play style. You can have stealth, you can have combat, you can have bows, you can have exploration, you can have taming animals. There's so many different play styles you can adopt in Assassin's Creed Origins, and this skill tree certainly does cater to it. So if you want to look at the skill tree, I'll leave a link to it in the description below, and you can go and look at all the skills in Assassin's Creed Origins and what they do, and start planning your builds before the game comes out, because skills will be a very important part of Assassin's Creed Origins, especially in terms of how effective you'll be when it comes to combat and stealth and all that good stuff. So as long as you coincide your builds with your playstyle and the weapons you're using, you should be good to go. I think one of the most important ways to prepare for Assassin's Creed Origins is by playing the other Assassin's Creed games. Many people see Assassin's Creed Origins and they're definitely going to buy it even if they haven't played the other Assassin's Creed games, and I guess that's perfectly fine. However, the best way to prepare in terms of story for Assassin's Creed Origins is by playing the other ones. At its heart, it's a story-based game. It has the gameplay aspects there and they are amazing from what we've seen in the game. However, it is a story-based game. Assassin's Creed always has had a pretty in-depth story since the first game, and it's only expanded into outer media as well, although I do recommend playing all of the main titles of Assassin's Creed. Games like Liberation, Bloodline, they don't really matter as much, however they are adding to the overall story of the various different characters in AC, so you can play those a bit later. But the games I recommend playing are Assassin's Creed 1, Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed Revelations, AC3, AC4, Assassin's Creed Unity, Assassin's Creed Rogue, and Assassin's Creed Syndicate, as those are all the main titles in the series leading up to Assassin's Creed Origins, and they do contain plot points that you probably should know for this game. Now, I know the games got worse towards Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Assassin's Creed Unity, Rogue, and Syndicate really aren't that great games because it was during Assassin's Creed's fatigue, although the earlier games in the series, bar like Assassin's Creed 3, are really great games, and I definitely do recommend playing them. However, if you don't plan on playing them, I recommend still watching a story so far video. Lasers James just recently released a really good video rounding up the whole story of Assassin's Creed, even bits of outer media as well with the comics and the novels and stuff like that, and it is a half-an-hour video telling you the whole story of Assassin's Creed up until the point we're at now with the ending of Assassin's Creed Syndicate. So I definitely recommend going and watching that if you don't plan on playing the games in like the 5-day period we have between now and Assassin's Creed Origins release. It'll definitely do you a world of good, and it can't harm you, you know, having the story in the back of your head whilst playing this game. It'll definitely help you understand the game a whole lot more. It'll be a lot easier for you to understand modern day sections and just the lore of Assassin's Creed in general. So it really is important for you to know the story of the Assassin's Creed games. So at the very least, go and watch a story so far video. I'll link Laser's video in the description because it is a really good video. Show some support on that so you can get the full of the Assassin's Creed story in the back of your mind ready for Assassin's Creed Origins. Anyway, that is the end of the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. We're now so close to the launch of Assassin's Creed Origins. It's 5 days away at this point, less than a week, which I think is just absolutely mental. Thank you guys for coming on this huge journey with me since January 2016, and there was a bunch of people subscribed back then, which was a fucking good long time ago. That was when the first leak for Assassin's Creed Empire came out, before we knew the name of it. And I just thank everyone for their support. I've grown my channel so much over these last 2 years almost, and I owe it all to you guys. Thank you guys so much. The support recently has been insane. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to go ahead and like and subscribe for more gaming news, content, and reviews in the future. And I hope you guys found this video useful and it helps you prepare for the release of Assassin's Creed Origins and all that good stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.